What's going on, guys? This is everything you need to know about the IEM Cologne Major 2026 Stage 1 here on the All About Counter-Strike podcast with me, James Banks, and of course, Devilwalk to the side of me as well. Now, when we're looking at this, we've been doing some special coverage. We've had lots of guests so far. We've had Tabson, we had Sin, we've had xCloud. And for stage 2 and 3, expect even more bigger names, more guests coming to talk about the major, their hopes, the runs, and how they qualify for the major and everything in between. Only here on the All About Counter-Strike podcast. We are pushing this content out. We're doing as much as possible. And we will do for each stage an episode which is just all about that stage, everything you need to know from start to finish. So if you're a fan of Counter-Strike, this is exactly what you need that you won't get anywhere else. Devilwalk, did I miss anything? Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I've even Googled time zones, differentials, start dates, start times for Brazil, Sydney, Perth, New York, Los Angeles. We got you covered on all angles. This was a headache for me, like so many numbers to kind of...
You're a coach. You should be good at this. You should be good with numbers.
Wow,
I'm pushing out on you.
I'm not talking about numbers. Sure.
Talking about numbers, a lot of people who have been watching the content, they're not subscribed. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right now to make sure you're informed of everything Cologne Major. And we'll do what we do at the beginning of every episode. So right now it is the 31st of May, 2026. We just got finished doing the Sin interview. It is currently 10:28 in the evening for me, which means it's 11:28 for Devilwalk, which is why he's slightly more tired. But he doesn't have a baby, so there's no excuses really.
But I told you as before we started, I am a baby, so I am tired.
Yeah, you are a big baby. We need to give you some life skills with it all. But let's look at the Cologne Major, mate, in all of its glory. So what we're going to get, first of all, from the Cologne Major is something that I think will... I don't think it's going to break viewership records for, say, Stockholm and Antwerp that was done at the PGL after the whole COVID time. But I feel like this is going to be one of the highest rated majors of all time because it's Cologne, it's legendary, it's got the legacy, and it's back being a major after 10 years. 10 years ago was the last major, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is actually insane. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's back. I think, as you mentioned, it's going to be legendary. There's, obviously an easy place to go to, a very Counter-Strike home-esque feeling to it. I've been to Cologne, probably up to, it's probably my most visited place outside of, Sweden.
Yeah.
Because there used to be so many studio events there. It was Turtle Entertainment with the ESL. They had their studio there, right? Used to be all the... It wasn't IEM. It was something else. I can't remember it now. But they had all the studio events there. Lots of birthday party. I still remember this little plateau you would sit around in the kind of studio. Everyone was sitting there drinking beers when they got eliminated. Good times, good times.
Now, I've been to a lot of Colognes, more actually as a viewer or just doing some content than I actually have done on the broadcast. I only worked 22, 23, and 24. After that, ESL didn't get me, so wasn't too much of a surprise, just sad I'm not working it for the major. But we'll go down the talent that they are going to have there, the list it's going to have for everyone to know. So stage host-wise, you're going to have OJ, obviously timeless classic. You know what you're going to get with him every single time. He's the ESL one just for Colognes and Katowice is now Krakow. Desk host, Freya, Stunner. Obviously, Freya is the best desk host we have by a million miles. You got to work with her at Budapest as well. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, she's actually insane at what she does. Good to see Shocks kind of back as well for this event.
You know what's interesting? She said going to be there for playoffs. So it says interviewer, sideline reporter. And this is what I said about I felt like ESL are doing hiring less talent because this is less than what a normal Cologne would be in the past, right? Maybe budget reasons or whatever. But it literally, she said, yay, IEM Cologne, finally a major, going to be there for playoffs. So she's not going to be there for the first couple of stages, which I'm surprised. I thought you would have a dedicated one. But I guess Stunner does a lot of the interviews as well now. And we saw Stiko doing some at the same time. So I'm guessing they're going to flex a lot of the roles and have a more dynamic broadcast, something they're trying out, something different. That's the way it goes. Analyst-wise, Janko, staple, right? No one can doubt anything he has. I think he's definitely within the top two analysts within the space. Him and Maui are the top two for me. Then you've got Pimp, obviously ex-pro. People like to meme and joke on him, but he knows what he's talking about. He understands what it's like to compete at these events. The big ones, though, for me, Stiko, obviously, we love Stiko. We got a lot of time for him. You've worked with him. I got to do events with him. I get to actually kind of show him the ropes last major when he was doing interviews, and he was just such a good person to work with, always on time, always efficient. And he comes with a very modern ex-pro player experience on it as well.
Yeah, no, I love Stiko. I think he's great, and I've kind of wondered why he was really doing interviewing. I think he probably has better things to offer as an analyst, personally, because he's incredibly.
He probably thinks that as well, because he's very analytical.
He's very analytic. He's very smart. I think he will fit there perfectly. I really like the addition of Ash as well. I think that's going to be super interesting to kind of have him.
Ash is going to be great because, like, Ash, if you've watched any of his YouTube content, he does no ball. People can joke and meme on him about his teams and what they've done, but Ash knows the game, and Ash also will not just follow along with some other analyst opinions. Like I would be really upset if I do see him do this, but I don't think he's going to accept if like Pimp or Yanko said something that he doesn't agree with. He'll say, actually, no, I don't think it's this way. You know, like he's got balls. He's not a pussy.
No, so I actually think the analyst desk is pretty stacked. Obviously, the big missing piece is probably Maui Snake. If you look at it from that perspective, I think that he is probably, in my eyes, the greatest entertainment value in terms of analysts. He's great at fluid speaking. He puts his points across really, really well. And that's kind of like the tricky part about being an analyst. It's not that you can't speak about the game and deliver your points, but you have to shorten it to an extent that it flows very well with the segments. And I think that he's a master at that. And that's probably going to be like a little bit tricky. It is a bit tricky to kind of go into and do well for the first time. Yeah. So for me, Mao Snake is missing, but otherwise, I think the analyst desk is amazing.
Definitely. And obviously, we've got Dupree there as well. Dupree is obviously, I think it's been maybe just over a year that he's been doing analyst work, but he's getting into it a lot better. He's obviously very well at answering kind of a lot of personal questions around players and stuff like that as well. So that's really good as he continues to hone his skills with it all. I will say this about Stika, by the way, actually, one point you made, like about why he was doing interviews more than analyst work. I think he'll be doing more interviews at the moment as they get him more broadcast ready. Like this is almost like him like leveling up into it. Because I think for Ash, right, he being British obviously helps him a lot anyway, but you need kind of a ramp up. If you look at Dupree, he started on a lot of the blast events and then eventually now into the bigger events. I think for Stiko, it's like more defining his spot. But I would agree with you in the analyst sense that it would make sense to have him there more often. Now, commentator wise, obviously we've got Machine and Sponge, two of the greats. Obviously, they've done some of the biggest finals, the biggest events going. Hugo and Harry, absolutely deserved every time. Dinko and Moses. This is the exact same commentator lineup as the Budapest Major. Yeah, so it's the exact same, which is what you want. It's the dream. But I think it was Scrawny. So Scrawny and Launders, they're my goats. Like they're the ones I think have the best energy, the best way of complementing each other. The time, obviously, I've worked a lot closer with Scrawny and Launders than I have Sponge and Machine. So there's bias in that. But like Connor said, commentating inside the Lanxess for the very first time, and it's a major, incredibly excited for this one. So he's been at Cologne's before, same as me, but he never got into the playoffs. And he said, respect to ESL for upholding the gold standard of major playoffs, giving all four casting duos a game in the arena. Because obviously, sadly, for Budapest last year, they only kept Sponge Machine and Scrawny Launders. Yeah. So they didn't do it like where the other guys who came along, they just got sent home after playoffs. Obviously, there's money. And the thing is, we've got to look at this. Like I made the comment about ESL having less talent here, right? Just because obviously normally you would have two sideline reporters for a major. Budapest, we had Stiko, Donna, and me doing interviews, right? Which was more. But then we lost out on Yanko being one of the analysts who definitely deserved to be there. And with no offense to like you and Ted, right? But you're probably not as experienced as Yanko in that sense. So it's like, they could, people doing this esports winter and how they want to budget things. There's all of this to it. And I do think that like majors now have become I wouldn't say less valued, but the old time majors are getting hired for one was a bigger, powerful, wow, you've been called up to it than what we have in recent times, because there's a bit more cutting corners and cutting costs at times, I'd say. That definitely seems to be a factor in it.
To just mention on the casters and Scrawny and Londers, I think Scrawny, for me, he is like, he has the best voice out of any caster. The energy he puts into it is actually insane. Like, it's a performance of art when you watch him.
Have you seen him physically doing it? By the way? Like when you're watching
physically doing it, he is like, his whole body is into it, and it's a beautiful watch.
Do you know what? I've been so lucky. I've been so lucky because obviously they do most of the I think all of the Blast Grand Finals, right? And also they did Budapest Grand Final as well. And we work so well in talking about what we're talking about before we go into it, because Scrawny likes to prepare his speech and talk before you go into the game of the Grand Final. And obviously I've got my hype moments, so we make sure we don't step on each other's toes. That's why it's such a pleasure. Like when you bring my hype and energy, which can't be beaten on stage, into them two going into a grand final, that is like the perfect flow. Like that flow, and that's not about me saying I'm the best. It's more about like,
well, you did,
because we're working on it, you know. No, but I mean, like, because of the way it works, right? You can do that if the other person you're kind of throwing off to is been on the same wavelength as you know. Because the worst thing is if I said something and then Scrawny says the same things again going into it, you know, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So when you have that synergy, when you have that work ethic together, just next level, on another level. Format wise, let's go into just the formats for this. Obviously 16 teams, Swiss system format.
I've experienced this format. You know, there's goods, there's bads, there's more bads than goods, but it is what it is.
Wait a second. If they remove best of ones,
yeah,
from all stages, because obviously remember playoffs, stage three is going to be best of threes, no more best of ones. But if they removed all best of ones, would it be the best format?
100%.
And and even if it's following Buchholz or whatever the hell you call it, you understand this a lot better than me. I still never wrap my head around it. Is that still the best way?
I think it's still it is still the best way, because I think you can look at it two ways. You can look at it from a competitive standpoint, and you can look at it from a viewer standpoint. Now, I think a lot of the time in today's Counter-Strike, if you look at talent desks and stuff, they generally favor the viewer standpoint, like a storyline-esque standpoint, rather than a competitive standpoint.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, in Buchholz, basically what you do is, if I beat a team that... So everyone's originally seeded, 1 to 16 in the group. And essentially, you know, I think it's 1 faces 9 or something that.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that part I don't really 100% like. That's the only part about Buchholz I don't like. I think it should be 1 versus 16, 2 versus 15, etc.
Oh, okay. So like literally the best versus the worst, and yeah.
Yes, but I still think the rules of Buchholz should apply, which is basically, if I'm rank 9 and I beat rank 1, I take over the seed of the rank 1 because he fucked up.
Okay, and you showed you could do it.
So then the seeding changes throughout the tournament, which... What it impacts is obviously like in vetoes, etc., where you get an advantage if you have a higher seed, blah, blah, blah. You get to choose side and choose when you want to veto, etc. But I think it generally is the best system. The only part I don't like is that 1 to 9. I don't. That to me makes no sense. It shouldn't be like that. They're trying to make as even first matches as possible, but... Yeah,
it is what it is. We're making positive changes. Valve are listening and adjusting and doing things. So
I understand the thought process behind it. They want as even matches as to start as possible, but it also throws the bracket into full chaos as early as possible.
And that also takes away the competitive integrity part of what you're saying, right? Like it kind of throws that up in the air a bit. So
I think that's why the Buchholz kind of gets a negative view on it, because so many take over seeds, because it's so even games. Technically in the first round.
And especially because it's then random when it's these best of ones as well, that an upset can more likely happen, even if you are miles better.
Yeah, but I also think, like, why wouldn't you, if you I'm seeded number 1, there should be a distinct advantage to it, not
I worked hard for
completely
that.
random. Like, if you take a look at like stage 3, right?
Yep.
And let's say that we just go through the Valve ranking of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that would mean Vitality would play GamerLegion, it would be like Spirit playing Astralis, Falcons playing Foot. Sometimes it's even the best rank to be is probably 8th, because then you play the rank 16 team, right?
Yeah.
So you're awarded for being 8th compared to 1. That's the problem I have with it.
So some of the other things to look at, right? Obviously, we're just talking about how this format works, our opinions on it, but also it's best of ones. And then if you go 2-0 or you go 0-2, you play a best of 3 to qualify or be eliminated. So any elimination and advancement matches from then on are a best of 3, which is good. We like that. I want to also look down. You had all the data here for us. So it's all starting for stage 1 on June the 2nd until the 5th. For everyone who's watching from around the world, we'll give you the start times. So Europe time is 12:30 in the afternoon. Rio, 8:30 in the morning. Sydney, 4:30 in the morning. Perth and Beijing, you had the same time zones?
No. 4:30 is the last.
Sorry. Yeah. 8:30 for Sydney. 8:30. Yes. So you put too much time on this. Perth and Beijing, 6:30 in the evening. New York, 6:30 in the morning. Los Angeles, 4:30 in the morning. That's early for the North Americans. Wait a second, let me check. When is the M80 game? Oh, bro, the M80 game is the first game.
Yeah.
So for the American fans actually want to stay awake, you're not sleeping that night. That's not happening. And then the last game should start. This is the last game times, right? The rest of it. Last games, obviously this is never going to be the case. Yeah, they never start like this. But the last scheduled game for Europe is 8:30 at night. For Rio, 4:30 in the afternoon. Sydney, 4:30 in the morning. Good luck to you Aussies. Perth and Beijing, so again Australia, but also China, 2:30 in the morning. New York, 2:30. So that's not bad. That's better for you. And Los Angeles, 12:30. But then things change. So
every single day is a different start time, by the way, except the last day. The 3rd and 4th day are the same.
Okay, so 3rd and 4th are the same, but the other days change. That's because there's less matches, right?
Well, I don't really understand why opening day 2 and day 3 are different.
Yeah.
By half an hour?
It moves an hour from the first day. No, there's 2 hours on the Wednesday. And then oh, wow.
And then half an hour back.
It gets a bit weird on the times.
Yes.
Okay, I see why you were making a fuss. So to quickly go down this for everyone, match day 2 and starts at 2:30 Europe time. Rio, 10:30 in the morning. Sydney, 10:30 in the evening. Perth, Beijing, 8:30 in the evening. New York, 8:30 in the morning. Los Angeles, 6:30 in the morning.
And we will probably put a graphic up here so that when you watch the episode, you can see it in screen time. So that we don't. It's not only listeners.
Yeah, but we got audio listeners on Spotify. Shout out to you guys one time. Yeah. There's a lot of you guys, and you're making comments. If you're a Spotify listener right now, drop a comment, and also don't forget to give us a review. A review is very helpful to helping us be discovered on the Spotify side of things, so that is appreciated as well. And then day 3, everything is just 30 minutes earlier than what I just said, so we'll put that up there. But that's just where we're at with it. So, Devilwalk, I'm going to play a game with you now, right after we've done the talent side and we've done the start times.
Play a game with me?
Yeah, I put together a game. Yeah.
Okay.
So there have been 3 Cologne Majors, 2014, 15, and 16. Without looking, don't look anywhere. You have to. I'm watching you. Wait a sec. I'm actually watching you. Who was the winner in 2014?
NIP?
Yeah, you lost to them, so you would have coached at that point. That's an easy one. Who won in 2015?
2015.
Not looking. I want to see both your hands. Put your hands here. Yeah.
Was it like SK?
2015, bro.
Was it Fnatic?
Yes, it was Fnatic.
Okay.
When they had different coach, not you. See? 2016.
Then it must be SK.
There you go. Yes, it was.
So it wasn't that bad.
No, but I thought you would have got that much better. I thought that was like, there was no trick questions in there. That was my quick game to you guys. I wonder if any people have got it done at home in the same way. So I also want to talk with you a bit about what makes Cologne legendary. So we've got to remember there's a lot of new people. And if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube right now, tell us in the comments, when did you start watching Counter-Strike? When did you start playing Counter-Strike? Then when did you start watching like the esports side? I'm very interested to get actual raw information on this. So obviously for me, I played same as you since 1.6. I was watching the events, right? Cologne was just one of the biggest events we had. And it was obviously something that started from all the ESL events, even before it was, the Cathedral, before it was Cologne like it is now. So it had always been legendary in like German Counter-Strike in general, right? But it was just obviously
that was
being
usually at the Gamescom, right?
Yes. Well, I was even at one of.
1.6.
I was at one that was at Gamescom where there was also StarCraft 2 and maybe League of Legends.
The League of Legends was there, 100%.
Yeah, because ESL had all the contracts, like the production contracts for League of Legends and Riot at the time. So I would have been about 20 then.
The NIP one was in a Gamescom, Cologne.
What, Cologne 2014?
Yeah.
Really?
It was a major, it was at Gamescom, and the reason why this is such a weird tournament was that Counter-Strike didn't really have their own stage.
Yeah.
So we were borrowing Battlefield's stage setup for Counter-Strike Major. And this was the Cologne, which had random maps as third.
Yep.
And it was random maps in the best of ones in the group stage. So essentially the veto process back then was, I think first team vetoed like 2 maps. The other team vetoed 2. And then between the 3 that remained, it was random.
Oh, by the way, I'm trying to find an interview I did.
And it was the Cobblestone Major. Because it always randomed to Cobblestone, which was a map that was released 2 weeks before the major, or something like that.
Oh my god! So they were just hard pushing it.
It was, I don't know, but the randomness was a bit too not random.
All right, here we go. So this was it. This is what I'm looking at right now. It's an interview I did 14 years ago. Wow, 14 years ago, it's got 22, nearly 23,000 views. 10th of March, 2012, yeah? And in the background, Intel Extreme Masters, where was this done? Did I write anything? Where was this done? So he was playing on ESC. This is surely it. This is what it is. Anyway, the quote he said, yeah? League of Legends is better than CSGO. And I think this is the event you're talking about. Because this is 2012.
Well, this is 2014 I'm talking about. I remember this so vividly because we were playing.
Okay, I can find this on Neo's profile. Keep going.
Imagine Fnatic were up against Na'Vi in the quarterfinals of the major. This is the Na'Vi with Edward Seas, Guardian, Starix, and Zeus. And we got to pick one map each, and the last one was random, right? Yep. Both teams had their auto veto, like their first veto, every single best of 3 was nuke for both teams. Nobody played nuke of us.
Yep.
No one wanted to use their veto to remove nuke because we both knew the other one didn't play it.
Yeah.
So both went for a chicken race and third map. What the hell do you think it became? Nuke.
Oh, nuke. Nuke
so
random.
It's 1-1 in maps. Ooh. It is random third map nuke. We start T side on nuke. This is the old nuke, by the way, where 12-3, 13-2 CT halves were not uncommon at all. We went on the T side, won 10 rounds to 5. We won that game 16-14. They won 9 on T side because no team knew what the fuck they were doing on that map at all. It was, I think Flush had made like a 1v3 or 1v4 to win the game in the last round. And I remember now a player got so pissed.
Yeah.
Because they thought that Flush was cheating that game.
Of course. There was always a thing around Flusher. Everyone said it. So do you know the event I was talking about, right? This was before it went to Cologne. So 2012 was Hanover at the CBIT. And there was League of Legends there as well. So it was still 1.6 when I did that interview. But like that. So to give the German side of things, obviously there was so much in there. So you're saying 2013 onwards was Cologne, right? Within Cologne anyway.
It was Gamescom, yeah.
Gamescom, which is in Cologne, which is just literally around the corner from where the main venue is. So that history, that legacy, obviously ESL being a German company as well, it has built so much. There are so many great moments from it. And the same as with football leagues and cups, right? Anything that has such a long standing, same as now what Krakow into what Katowice before that has, it's that legacy of being one of the champions of that trophy, of that cup. And that's what ESL have done so well with both Cologne, Katowice into Krakow, and the development that no one else has.
You know, I think what it really comes down to is I think all of us start off as fans of a game. We watch events, and as we become competitors, we want to play in the events that we watched as fans. So I watched 1.6. I remember, you know, the old Mouse Sports with Go B winning an IEM, you know, and it was a beautiful moment. He was like the best player, came back to German CES, and you know, like they had this super team of 6 and everyone. They were absolutely incredible. Remember watching that game, and then when you go to one of these events and compete, you reminisce on the feeling of being a fan, and it becomes such a big deal because I remembered when I was watching this event, when this team won, and now I get to play it. That's such a momental kind of thing for a player and a competitor, and it puts weight on the tournament because, as you mentioned, you know, every single new kid who grew up as a fan watching the game, they've watched the Colognes, they've watched the majors at Colognes and the big events as a fan. And now they are there as a competitor. And I think it drives every competitor that's new. They want to play that event. They think that event is the coolest to be at.
They want that crowd. Yeah.
Yes, they want to experience what they saw as a fan.
Obviously, the difference in when our career started as well is like for me, and maybe it probably doesn't feel the same way for you, mine was DreamHack. So like my first DreamHack in 2007 was the dream. Like I remember meeting so many of the top pros. Obviously we're talking about like Spawn, Heat, and the guys that were just Heat was already retired by this point, right? But like Spawn was still competing. I think it was
100% end of his DreamHack for me as well.
Okay, it was still the same because I didn't know it was easy for you to go there. Like for me, right? For me, it was very hard.
For me, it took a year to win DreamHack of my me playing easy. Pro. So I went to the first
and
DreamHack.
Didn't make it out of BYOC.
2012, I went there at the Buchholz. We lost because
was that your first one?
That was my first LAN ever.
But you live in Sweden.
Yes, but I also live 12 hours away.
You live miles away.
It's not an easy trip. It's legit easier to go to Copenhagen and go to the
that's what I
games.
Did. So I flew from the UK to Copenhagen, and I drove with one of my teammates from Copenhagen all the way to Jönköping.
But I had the weirdest shit. You know, I had a PC that was so bad. I had like removed, you know, the outer layer of it. And I remember traveling to DreamHack, my first LAN event, with that PC and screen.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was a very skinny dude back then as well. And and I had like 3 IKEA bags with screens, computer, everything,
IKEA.
and taking the fucking train to Jönköping. It was a
Yeah.
nightmare. I had to change trains like 4 times, and I had to pick up all this shit, take my PC, put it on the ground, take like I was like blocking the fucking train to exit, you know.
Did you meet like other gamers who do the same thing, like a similar time as you?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. Because I
But
only did the train
DreamHack,
once. Yeah. Oh, dude, when you get there, it's crazy.
When I got there, my PC didn't work, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god!" And I was playing on
How
like
did you get it
70
fixed?
FPS.
Oh no.
Well, I basically at the desk before we were playing our first game, I had to like remove all the things, put it back in, I dusted it off, and eventually I got it working. So yeah.
But you won your first DreamHack.
Yeah, a year later.
That's a year. Okay, so second DreamHack you won?
Second DreamHack, yeah.
That's crazy.
No, third. Second winter.
Still impressive.
Third DreamHack.
That's crazy.
I came second in the second DreamHack though. In DreamHack Summer.
You worked your way up. Mate, we got absolutely
lost
annihilated.
MIP in the final.
We got annihilated in BYOC, and then I spent the rest of the time just playing. I played the Q-Pad 1v1 that used to happen, you know, where like, by the way, I'll say this, in 1.6, I don't know if you remember, but Q-Pad had like a booth, and every top player was playing that 1v1. Like, Spawn won it multiple years in a row. I think Hyper won it another year. Like, so many people, they were so keen on like actually being the best aim map 1v1 player. That was so good to just watch so many players. Also, for me, it was like a lot of learning and just networking. I've always been good at the networking and just chatting to people, just talking to people while you idolize them. But yeah, so what you were talking about, it definitely works from now, especially for the younger generation, because they would have all grown up on this. And that longevity and that legacy of Cologne is what makes it so special and so amazing. I think that's why everyone's so hyped that it's back as a major, because I always say this, right? The majors are always the pinnacle of Counter-Strike. Every player chooses that to win first. Then it's Cologne, Katowice. I always feel like Cologne's a little bit more special than Katowice. I always think like Cologne has more weight to it than a Katowice.
Yeah. I'd agree.
So literally like majors, Cologne, Katowice, and then you have now the Blast, the PGLs, and all the other events in there, right? And then beneath that is like all the smaller IEM events like Atlanta and Dallas and whatever. It's not so big. But they've really stood out. So now when you put the fact it's a major and Cologne, like this one, I can imagine even like someone like Apex is just mega motivated to win it, like in a big way. Not just because it's the major, but to be the major Cologne again 10 years later as well. So we're in for a treat. It's going to be a real special one. And that's what we think, at least on our eyes. That's what makes Cologne so legendary. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down the teams that we have within this stage. So we have in total 16 teams. We're going to start with Thunder Down Under. You know what, low key, I don't think so Thunder Down Under don't have much that's impressive around their name right now, because obviously if anyone that says they don't deserve to be there, no, they do deserve to be there. They got the points needed within their region, right? But what worries me is like they still lose to the Lynn Visions of the world. They can dominate within Oceania. They do have experienced players, Dexter, Liaz, and Alistair, all of the previous FlyQuest roster, right? All know how to play with each other. Dexter leading the charge as well. But they've got 2 rookies on their team. 2 of our first major rookies is ASAP and TJP from the team. So that is their chance to have their first sticker in the game and try and do something exciting. But I would never count these guys out. Like, these are not a sure thing 0-3 team. They are going to obviously quickly wake up to reality when you're going up against some of the best European teams. Their first game is against MIBR, which isn't even a European team, but it's a deadly team right now. But I don't know. I have the feeling like even if they can just get one best of one win, that'll probably be a good result for them, given the fact that they're just playing Oceanian teams. Yeah. Australia, New Zealand, and when they do play Chinese, they lost to them. That's just me looking down the results from them.
Yeah.
Even with their experience, it's what else can you look at here?
No, I mean, it's obviously Dexter, Elias, Alistair. You have to kind of look. ASAP looks like a, pretty decent talent coming in from that Australian region. But
Look at this. They even lost the Bucharest qualifier in the end in third place. So they lost to, how did this work results wise? They lost to the Huns, and then they lost to Legion. So like, it's not a good look when you're going up against much tougher opposition here. When you're looking at that.
I think this is probably for most people a 0-3 pick. Sorry to say, I still think, in this format, anything can happen, and especially, the first day can really shake things around, and it's probably screw a lot of people's pick'ems, mine included. So
we'll get into that later.
Best of ones, anything can happen, so I wouldn't count them out. They could get a game or two, I think, but I don't expect them to go through to the next stage if we're looking from that perspective.
Now, the next one's quite interesting because none of them are major rookies. They are all 28 years or older Gaimin Gladiators.
Their average age is 30.7.
Mate, I'm pretty sure you could join this team.
Who's the youngest?
Jota, 28.
That's
Jota's
crazy.
28. Lucan's 29. Nekis is 30. Henny 30. And then Fur 34. Obviously, they had the drama that was the whole situation with Phelps was on the team. Then something with his contract. It wasn't pretty. Fur's now coming in out of nowhere to just roll back the years without having to do anything to qualify for the team. I'll just say this, right? The one thing I think is a positive for them is that Gaimin Gladiators right now have a Fur who, he doesn't have the energy or stamina to compete through these VRS, but he doesn't give a fuck. Like, bro, some of these players might be on their first major or might be nervous going into a major, how important it is. He's done this. He's going to be rock solid. Yeah. He might not be the best aimer. He might be the most skilled player, but he's going to be full chilling. He's going to just be relaxed, enjoying his life, rolling back the years. Like it, I don't want to just be memeing and joking on the team, but like, we can't take this team so seriously.
I honestly, I have no idea what to even think. I think it's almost a miracle they've qualified for a major. If I look at the team, they obviously have tons of experience, and that's probably what has brought them to the point that they are at. But I also think that they are definitely a potential 0-3 team for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, they have taken a map against, likes of Pain, but got crushed in all the other ones. That was obviously with Phelps. They've done BC Game Masters with Fur.
By the way, the only games with Fur. So that means they've been in Europe maybe for a while.
Yeah,
BC Game Masters, where was that?
He doesn't seem to be like playing badly or anything, but they're losing to Inner Circle, Ascend, which is a Bulgarian team.
Two teams not at the major.
It's not looking bright for the likes of Gaimin Gladiators.
Yeah.
I see them as probably my 0-3 pick as well.
That's fair. It's fair. Now, here's the next team that's going to be really hard for us to look at because all in all, I like the guys from FlyQuest, but I don't know what to make of them anymore because we don't see them. There was a moment in time where FlyQuest was still qualifying for events. They might not even be the best team in their region right now. You might give that to actually who is higher on the VRS?
Thunder Down Under.
63 for Thunder Down Under and 85th for FlyQuest. Now, Azza, great mind of the game, so experienced. JKS, we were so hyped when he joined back into this team. Vexite and Netic, there were games in tournaments where I would see these guys do things and think, individually, they have it. Yeah? Then Regali goes out of the team. They bring Story in. I don't know how well Story's doing within this team. Let's have a quick look down it. So Story, he's the highest rated player, but it's nothing to shout home about. Like, it's nothing to scream about. And look at this. They lost to GG How. They lost to 5-star. I don't even know who 5-star are. They lost to TyLoo. They lost to a team called Alter Ego. They lost to Chinggis Warriors. The third place at Draculand, but that was back in... They haven't played a lot, man. If I can see their results back from February, and obviously
they play like 5 games a month.
And remember, they've got some of their team is in Australia, and some of their team is in Europe. Because I'm pretty sure Azra and JKS, obviously definitely Story, they live in Europe. So I don't know what their expectations are. Maybe they've been on a savage boot camp coming into the major and how important it is. FlyQuest definitely have the money, but like
they're very hard team to kind of scope where they are at. Because I mean, even there's been like rumors they haven't really gotten practice to work. They haven't really gotten into the grind because of this situation with several people on another continent and other people in Europe. So hard team to. I feel sad because FlyQuest for me, especially after last major, I felt like, okay, next season they could actually be something. They could actually do something. Get some more time with Acer. Obviously they changed to Story as an Opera. Story as an Opera I really, really like. He's a great player. Did amazing things in that Saw lineup. So it's sad if these rumors are kind of true, that they haven't really gotten the practice they need going into a major.
3-0. They went 3-0 on stage 1 last time, and I would never put them as even close to being a 3-0 this stage.
No. Unfortunately, you kind of have to put them not going through. They can win a game. They can definitely win a game of Counter-Strike, but they have a tough start against Sinners, who is really, really like up and coming, good, consistent EU tier 2 team.
Yep.
So we'll kind of have to wait a little bit and see how they perform, because it's so much unknowns for this FlyQuest squad.
Definitely. By the way, there's mosquito buzzing around me, so I'm going to ask my wife if she can bring me the mosquito spray. I'm going to kill this motherfucker.
All right.
Can you bring... We keep this in the podcast. Mosquito. This is the only problem I don't like about living in Portugal is mosquitoes. Like this, I don't like these at all. We don't have them in the UK. Maybe we do, but I've never been killed by them here.
You don't have mosquitoes?
But maybe we do, but in my whole time when I lived in the UK, I never got bitten, and I don't like them here. I got bites on my arms after these evil things. And also, I'm trying to protect my son at the same time.
Sneak in at night and just buzz around.
Oh, fuck, bro.
And there's like holes in every single Portuguese building, so you can't escape them. Yeah,
it's not fun. All right, our next team, Sharks. First team of 5 major rookies. 5 major rookies. This is their time to shine. Sharks is quite an old organization. They actually, as a team, their average age is 23, so they're not like super young. Koala, what a name. I love this guy already. We're going to see what these guys can do, being it's their first major, but that comes with a lot of pressure. It comes with a lot of, I guess, new learnings. They did recently compete at the State Rank 2 episode. We spoke to xCloud about this, right? Like, if they're going to be hiding stuff, if they're not going to be playing the same way. They did beat Alliance. They lost to NIP and FaZe. I don't think that's bad for them. You'd say at least Nips a stage 1 level team, even though they didn't qualify, and FaZe obviously much better than that on paper. They're opening games against Heroic, which actually is probably a good game for them, realistically, right? If you look at it.
It's definitely a good game for them. I think it can be very much like a 50-50. All depends on what Heroic going to show up. If they, kind of start playing really, really well and consistent. If we get a good-looking Heroic, it's going to be a tough time for Sharks. But I do have some hope for Sharks. I probably wouldn't put them in my list of going through. But I could see Sharks being in a 2-2 game and maybe being able to clinch it. I see them more closer to a 2-2 than like a FlyQuest, Gaimin, or Thunder Down Under for sure.
I see them as gonna win a best of 1, struggle in the best of 3s. I do like the fact that they've competed at both BC Games Masters and the stake ranked episode 2. They were also at CCT Global Finals, but like they took a map from big. The good thing is they're not just playing South American competition. Like they are actually looking to get some experience and travel out. So I'm guessing there's been some money behind them. Also, their coachy, yeah, he's been there since 2017. I remember speaking to him back at some, I think it was maybe a Cologne or a Katowice back in the day when they qualified. Actually, it might have been an ESL Pro League. It might have been a Pro League. Like this guy, 38 years old, kind of doing the Blade Masterclass on it all, still building teams, still trying to make success. I don't know. Maybe he's never even been to a major. Let me find out.
I've definitely played against Kochi.
Did you? See, look at that.
I even see... Well,
Stockholm was the last major he was at. Stockholm, 2021. 5 years later.
I did play against them in Star Series.
Hey.
Star Series 7.
There we go.
When Mirage CE, it was Kochi, Roman, Fox, Aguila, and Mutris.
Oh,
Mutris.
Yeah. That's awesome. But yeah, for Sharks, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a lot of learning.
It's definitely
I'm excited to see
tough.
what they can do. I'm glad they've taken the right approach to go to some European events and give it their all with it. Now, the first of our, I would say, highly interesting teams here. This is Big Clan. And Big Clan right now are legit. Blame F as a 100% frag in IGL. Like, this is the definition of frag in IGL.
Yep.
Grix, I think Grix is the only one whose first major it is. Right, let me compare my notes.
Should be.
Yeah, Grix's first major. So, obviously, Grix has been spoken about and hyped up a little bit for quite some time. Certainly a prospect. We heard very positive things about him and just his mentality from Tabson. And then you got the Germans, Tabson, JDC, and Faven as well. This is probably a team that many people are looking at as a potential 3-0. Their first game's against Liquid, and I think with their way of playing, Liquid is going to struggle against that, no matter what map it would be on.
It's also one of the few teams that have 7 map pool.
Yep.
They do play all maps. They have over 50% win rate on all maps.
Jesus.
So
and by the way,
put in some work.
They are grinding like the tier 2 events, right? But that's just because they don't have invites to the bigger events. But they're facing some good teams across this. So like CCT Global Finals, 4th place. Nodwin was obviously top 4 again. CCT Europe was 2nd place. The HLC Belgrade Pro event, LAN, was 1st place. So this for me is an exciting team. And as Tabson said himself, I don't know if you guys watched the interview, but it's definitely worth checking out. This is probably the best Big Clan.
It's also you can see that they qualify for the major. They played off the accepted tournament invites, which obviously was CCT and Nodwin, Clutch Series, and then they just stopped. Yep. They've only been pracking for a little bit over a month without showing any of their game. I think they are coming into this compared to other teams way more advantageous position for them because of that.
Yeah.
Because of how much prep they can do, how much new stuff they can throw at people. It's going to be hard to kind of analyze them down. It's going to be game-to-game basis. So the first couple of games, they put themselves in a great position to go into the 2-0 bracket.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And what I see here with Big is that they will not take any team lightly. Doesn't matter if they get a Sharks or a Heroic or a Thunder Down Under. Like for them, they've got a real specific goal. German team, German organization, going in Cologne. For Tabson, as he said, he will do anything of what the team needs, whatever Blame F is saying. And Blame F's definitely got a point to prove. Do you know what's crazy? Tabson obviously mentioned it to us during the podcast when we did with him. You did it?
The Blame F has only attended 3 majors.
Yes, and that is...
But how crazy is it if you say it like this? He's been a top 20 player of the year 4 times, but he's only attended 3 majors in his entire career.
One with Astralis, Antwerp, didn't do well. 2 with Fnatic, one when it was the European Fnatic, last place. And then Budapest, where it was through stage 1 with Fnatic and then 12th to 14th on stage 2.
Yep.
But also, obviously, when he was coming up on his complexity days, right? If I think back to that, I think there was no majors at the time because it was COVID.
Yep.
Yeah. So he has some of that in there as well. Like, because he was on Heroic 2019. 2019, he then joins Complexity, and they did their LAN event in London, a blast event, and they actually even beat Navi, if I'm correct. And then COVID hits. Everything goes crazy. Whole team's living in lockdown. And then he gets on Astralis after that. And that Astralis was ugly. He was on Astralis for 3 years, but it was a big waste of nothing time. Too much craziness going on. So yeah, this is the fact that he's building something here with Big. Him and Taps are on the same page. And it's a very exciting team. Very, very exciting team. A lot of people, I think, putting them 3-0. So NRG right now, we were talking to Sin before. Obviously, M80 certainly the golden crop of North America. Kind of going a similar route as some of the other North American teams. NRG, Sonic obviously coming from South Africa, Bro from Denmark. The thing I'm worried about here is that CAC, it says Daps coach substitutes Bro due to a family emergency. I've tried to find out if Bro's going to play the major. As of right now, it's unknown. Like, they're saying he's going to play, but they weren't even sure if they were going to practice with him or what was going to happen. And remember last major, they had to play with Daps as well? Nitro had a baby?
Yeah, but Daps has stepped in also for other people, right? In even this...
I don't know if it was anything else, but I know last major, Daps took Nitro's place because Nitro's having a baby, and now this is Bro. And we were already saying when we saw NRG at other events, we were yet to see like the good level of Grim again, you know? Like this didn't have the desired effect.
They definitely have been looking less sharp as of adding Grim, and
which is
they obviously
Grim
have to kind of fit him in and make sure that he gets the space to play his role, but at the same time it hasn't worked out. It feels like, I don't know. I was super excited about NRG, like before they got Grim. I saw how they played. I even played a Face-It game with Nitro and Bro, and they looked an OC. Matter of fact, it was me, Flatro, OC, Bro, and Nitro, right?
Good team. Could actually be a real team.
They were so sharp that game. So I was high on them after I saw that, but it's just gone downhill ever since they got Grim. And I'm not saying it's Grim's fault. It's just they haven't been able to fit everything together as well as they would have wanted. Yeah. I mean, if you look at some of the performance, they've obviously played some higher tier caliber events, but even looking at, in CAC, last place, they got eliminated by Mouse and Legacy. IEM Atlanta got eliminated by Foot and Face. Frag
without
20,
winning a map.
They lost to Passion UA, ended 5th to 8th. Bucharest 12th to 14th, only managed to win against Voca.
Another North American team.
Yeah, so it's like last Open Rotterdam, they got a win against Bait, a map against Furia, lost to Falcons. They haven't really made it work that well. They have a very low win percentage. If you look at the roster last 3 months, 23.5% win rate. That's not good enough. And it's not giving me the confidence to say that this is going to be a team that's going to show up and make it through to the next stage. I'm sorry, but there's not enough of foundation of stats. There's nothing to back it up other than guesswork for NRG. So I was super excited about NRG, but I don't think I will be tough for this major.
It's definitely tough. Looking at our next team, Sinners, European team as well. They've gone away from having the Czech lineups, or checking that area lineup, should I say. They are all 5 major rookies on this team. So Beastick, Shock, Modo, Kisarek, and Stressan. Average age only 24. Modo I know really well, and I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's always had good potential. Maybe not used the completely right way on his past teams. I am a bit of a glazer of him. Kisarek, I can't remember where I remember him from. The Rebels lineup when they had that little run at a Katowice one time. That actually didn't go too bad. But Beastick and Shock, they've been going at it for quite a long time now.
Yep.
Is this this is hard because like Shock and Beastick are not young. Yeah. They've got experience, but this is still the first major, something they've dreamed about for a long time. You look at their results and you can see they can compete to some degree with slightly better teams, but they can also lose to the young ninjas and tricks of the world. I want to give them a shot of being like they could do some damage, but I don't feel like I'm comfortable they would make it to stage 2.
I think
it's
they
going to be a real on the edge. Yeah,
I think they can. Yeah, I do think they can, but they're definitely in the bracket of 3-2 for me. I think they are a team a lot of people probably sleep a little on because they have been pretty consistent. Yes, they've lost against some lower ranked teams. They won against some bigger ranked teams. But, you know, their team, if you just look at like IEM Atlanta, they played close against GamerLegion, who went on to the final. There are things that you can look at for this, Sinners. They beat big. They've played well against BetBoom, beaten them. They beaten G2 in BC games. So they have the potential to make upsets. They have the potential to play really, really well in series. Yes, there's going to be some like consistency thing when they're playing a lower tier competitor. They're going to drop a little bit in level, but I think they are a team for me that can make it through the next stage and surprise a lot of people. They play some good Counter-Strike, and I wouldn't count them out at all. For example, if I would compare Sinners' chances versus Liquid's chances, Sinners has a bigger chance for me.
Oof. I understand what you are saying. Not sure if I agree with it. Because
you don't have to.
I do think that the stress factor of a major hits people hard, and it's very different to anything else they've ever played.
Yes, but I think the first stage is different than,
Well, it isn't like the real part of the major.
No, it's not the. I think this part, if I'm really honest, the bigger teams are the ones that are the most stressed in these circumstances, because Sinners comes here and they've got nothing to lose. I promise you, like, I've been on both sides. Yeah. Yes, it can be stressful, but the ones with the biggest pressure that fumble a lot more than they normally do, they are the bigger names, the bigger teams. We've seen it time and time again in these stages that they barely survive through stages like these. It's tough. We saw it at FaZe Clan last major, barely survived. Yeah. And I think that it's going to be the same case for some of like Liquid. Liquid is probably the one with the most pressure going into the stage, no matter what.
Well, I think no matter what happens with Liquid, they're probably... I'll come on to it a bit, but yeah.
Yeah. but I think Sinners, for me, they can definitely do it. I probably have them going through, if I'm honest.
Okay. Fair play. All right, from Sinners, we're going over to China and our first of the 2 Chinese teams, Lynn Vision. Right now, Lynn Vision have a VRS ranking of 24, which is crazy.
Their all-time high?
Might be. No, they peaked at 14.
14?
That was back at the Austin Major run. And they went a bit crazy. Yeah, when we all got hyped about Amelia Cuck. You even had Cuck in your Faceit profile for a while.
I still have
But obviously, there's some of the questions around Lynn Vision was obviously just the fact that they had so many of these weird event wins, the Lynn and the Hero Esports one and XSE and some of the default wins and stuff in there. This is a team now, though. They've stuck together, man. They've not made changes. They've believed in the same 5 players they've had. Like, when's the last player that came in? Call Me Sue, 2025 February. So they understand each other. They know what they're doing.
Dude,
they know how to play with each other.
Westmelon has been
young.
on the team for 9 years.
Yep. Look at that.
What the hell,
bro? And Gum. I'm gonna keep saying this. I tell this story all the time. This guy said it was easy to outgame Zonic and out-prepare Zonic and Falcons. Yeah, he said that back at... Fuck, I've been bitten. I've actually been bitten. These fucking bastards. This is going to piss me off all episode now. If I'm itching, I'm going to be pissed. Gum is a hard worker. Gum is a grinder. And he'll sacrifice sleep to make sure everyone's at their best. I'm still a big fan of Zaka as well. Amelia obviously gets all the attention from the, the hype and the personality, which we do love. Yeah. We need some of that in Chinese players. But
I think it's hilarious.
People can't knock this team now. Like, it's not a 0-3 team anymore. They're not a meme team. They will have some struggles. They will lose some stupid rounds. We spoke about this with Sin, right? One thing
they have that kind of play style.
They'll just do the most perfect default. All the utilities exactly the same. They won't be missing some molly or smoke. They've done it a million times with no one in a server. But they will throw a 2v5 because everyone's kind of lost when the mid round starts to go a bit crazy, or they lose a kill or get ahead of themselves. It can happen. Yep. I don't know. I'm very biased towards the Chinese teams, but I speak to these guys a lot. Like, I speak to Call Me Sue. I speak to Zaka. I would like to see them get through stage 1 again, especially considering what it was. Which one was it really bad? Budapest was really bad for them, right?
But the thing is, we've spoken to some of the players that we interviewed now beforehand, and a lot of people praise the Chinese teams in their individual level, team level. But I think it's the same old story every time we go to a big tournament, a big major. People have pranked them, say they are like the best team in the world in practice. But it rarely shows the same way when they go to a major. Well played.
Fucking killed him. Fuck you. Someone beeped out.
Ivan, you got work to do. But yeah, I'm still like on the fence with like Lynn Vision, if I think they'll make it through or not. I definitely think they'll be a 2-2 team, but they are a chaotic kind of team in a way. The way they play, they are very aggressive, they're very momentum based. We saw it like in the past majors. They can make rounds look super easy for them, but they can also make it 10 times harder for themselves in some cases. So I'm a little bit on the fence. I see Lynn Vision as a little bit of a Chinese legacy in a way, where it's going to be map losses. It's going to be like a little bit of ups and downs throughout the stage. Yeah. So I definitely would put them in a 2-2 matchup.
But look at this. Last time they lost 13-5 to FaZe, 13-2 to NIP, and 2-0 to the Huns. Unacceptable for them at their level. Obviously, they've been grinding like crazy, everything to do with China and Asia, and they've been competing at all these events, but they are on CAC still 9th to 12th. They didn't go out in last place. Yeah. So let's look at their results there.
NIP they beat. They
beat
lost
NIP.
to Mongols 13-3, lost to Paravision 2-0.
But they won 3 events in a row. Obviously, there's one of them dodgy default ones as well. They are capable of doing well. Would you put them through? You're gonna put them in 2-2? You're 2-3?
I'm a bit on the fence on them. I could see them go through, but I could also see them kind of flop to the 2-3. But I definitely think they'll win 2 games and get into the 2-2.
Now, going on to our next Chinese team, back-to-back, looking at TyLoo, this is where it gets interesting, because I think TyLoo is the better team, but VRS doesn't show that. VRS shows that TyLoo's a little bit under them. Obviously, last time, it was super bad in Budapest as well. I don't know what happened to the Chinese teams, considering the excitement we did have around the rest of them, right? But they went out 12th to 14th place in stage 2.
Weirdly enough, they haven't really played each other. Because the only time they have, it's been twice in a row, TyLoo forfeited the game to Lynn Vision. They played back in February. where TyLoo won a close series 2-0, the grand finals of Euclid Pinnacle of Battle season. But other than that, weirdly enough,
They don't match up.
They haven't played each other this season.
Okay. Interesting.
Which is very interesting considering it's a whole season in the same region and they haven't even played a game against each other.
Do you know, I'll say this as well. The thing that worries me about TyLoo is they can sometimes fold even when they have a game won against some of the best teams. Like, they got that one map win at CAC over Mouse, yeah? But then they lose to Legacy, they lose to Pain. Arguably, both very hard teams for them to go up against, right? But it was so flip-floppy in terms of the scores and what they were actually able to do. And I've seen so many TyLoo games where they do all the right things, they have the right ways. Remember, I think they played Vitality in Hong Kong, maybe last Hong Kong. And they almost won that Overpass or Inferno, and they just throw away like a 3v5 or a 2v5. And
they should have won.
Yeah, but basically they had the game won, you know?
But if I look and compare the two, TyLoo for me is definitely the team that, if being matched in a stage 3 of the major, I could see TyLoo having more success than a Lynn Vision against the best team of the world. I think TyLoo actually is going to make it through. I think they are good enough. I think they've had a little bit of a rocky season, but they've stabilized, they found success, and I think they're at that point where it looks like they might be peaking at the right time. So I have high hopes for TyLoo. It's definitely not going to be, well, I mean, nothing is impossible. They could 3-0, but I see them more as a 3-1, 3-2 team.
Yeah. On Zero is their major rookie, 20 years old on the team.
But he's supposed to be sick.
Yeah, but it's still what he can do when he comes to these bigger events, right? Still a lot of learning for him. I obviously have TyLoo going through. I think they'll make it through. But it's all going to be on their shoulders how they deal with it. Last time they were so lucky to have a stage 2 berth because they've done so well at Fissure and stuff, that this time starting in stage 1, they need to grind. And by the way, I spoke to Jack, and they did not really boot camp in Europe before because they had to play. So TyLoo's last event, where is it? They had to play that ESL Challenger event on the 28th to get the EPL spot. So ESL Pro League, which is really important. So they couldn't come to Europe earlier. So they were also hindered by that. It is tough. But yeah, we both have TyLoo going through. We're both big fans of TyLoo. Maybe me more than you. All right, getting on to our last 7 teams here. Starting to get some of the bigger names in. I say bigger name. Liquid is a big name. But my oh my, I love Flashy. I've got so much time for Flashy, Naf, Elige, Malbs, Shuhei, even Ultimate and his antics on interviews where sometimes he says things that make me think like he's expecting to be kicked from the team. But I don't know where to put them. Something's not working. They're not agreeing on things. They don't look like they understand what they want to do at times.
The weird thing is, for me, I look at this Liquid and I actually put them probably in the bottom 6 of this entire lineup of 16 teams.
Yeah.
And I think for me, a lot of they've had so many chances to prove me wrong. They've had so many chances, so many tournaments, so many opportunities, and they have continuously, and consistently fallen down in the rankings. Yes, they made a resurgence from rank 53 to rank 38 or 39. But I mean, they started off the season in a position where they could get invites to every single tier 1 tournament in the world whenever and pick and choose whatever they wanted. And they've, from that position, still dropped down at now 39th in VRS, but they were down at 53. And you have to be disastrously bad to drop that far with so many opportunities. Yeah. That's just the facts. I'm sorry to say it. They might be able to, practice and get things working for the major, but I'm kind of done with it. I'm kind of, I'm not going to sit here and give false hope to Liquid fans because something is not working with the lineup. They're not where they are. This is a team they built to compete with the very, very best in the world. And right now, they are failing to compete with the top 40s of the world.
Bro, and it's the money invested. It's the amount of players that have come and gone. We've look at this lineup, right? Naf and Elige, two incredible players. Naf, by the way, doesn't get spoken because obviously Liquid are doing so badly. He has made the comeback. He's back.
Their best player.
He has gone through, personal tragedy and heart pain and ache and life-changing situations and come back stronger.
Yep.
He's gone through all the crap of this team and still playing very well. Elige, obviously, is the star of the team, but there's only so much Elige. I think Elige, by the way, had an easier time doing good job on Complexity, Passion UA. Was he even on Passion UA, but was it just Complexity? Yeah, it was Phase before on Complexity. He had an easier time on Complexity to do well than he did on Liquid. And guess what? Elige's last events are nowhere near Elige's level. And by the way, Elige is not a player where I feel like age and he has done or anything like that. It is just something in this system or something in this team that is not happening. Maybe him and Shuhei are disagreeing because we know how vocal Elige wants to be. Maybe they don't have the good understanding of how the game wants to be played. I can't answer these questions for people, but this is some of the worst performances from Elige I have seen. And he is mechanic. Remember, everything is well thought out.
No one is doubting the individual level of each of these players.
No, I'm doubting some of them. Devilwalk.
You're probably talking about Ultimate, but
and Shuhei used to be.
Yeah, but
Shuhei was way better than what he was.
Pieces as they are, they're not bad players. They are good players, but them together don't work. They don't mesh. They've tried it all. They brought in Flashy. They've changed coaches. They've changed systems. They've changed in-game leaders. There's something wrong with the mesh of it. And sometimes that's how it is. It doesn't mean that they're terrible players. It just means that they can't get shit working together. And it's obviously hurting all of them. But it's another story. We will see how it goes for the major, because if they don't do well at this major, I don't see this Liquid ever going into the second half of this year.
I think you keep Naf, Elige, Malbs, and you have to change Ultimate and Shuhei, not just because they're the Europeans, but because they need an overhaul of at least two players. And I can't see them getting rid of Malbs, who they just got, and Elige and Naf, who are staple players of that caliber.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
and this, by the way, this is before we've even seen them play. We're talking like this. How crazy is that, man? And I feel bad. I like Shuhei so much, but I mean, this team isn't working for him.
It's true. It's the truth. And I mean, obviously, Malbs is a great player. He's a great player. He can be in one of the best teams in the world. And we haven't really seen, them that much with this Malbs version. He's obviously been there for, 2 months? They kind of thrown him into tournament on the instant, and that hasn't really worked that well for them. So hopefully, when was the last time they played? They played in CAC versus the Mongols. So they haven't had that much practice, to be honest, to be able to refresh this. I don't see that much hope. That's just all I'm saying. I think we can move on from Liquid.
Yeah. We can't just beat a dead horse, literally. Heroic is... I don't know.
It's a weird team.
Because when we speak to xFloud, even he doesn't make you feel confidence, because he says the disagreements sometimes of the way they want to play, the Swedish style versus the freedom he would want, understanding and philosophy of the game, the young star situation. Everyone likes a Danish style, but I mean Scandinavian style. You got 3 Swedes on the team. Coach and IGL are Danish, but Youngster, he isn't an AWPer. It doesn't matter what they say. He may be able to hit some shots and play some, and he will be able to learn and do what the team wants. But I don't blame any of the players when they've had such a tough year and such a tough push around them to go through all of this. But my wife has bought the mosquito spray, but I found it and killed it with my hands. Thank you, baby. live on the episode. She's giving me a thumbs up.
Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi, yeah, that's me. Thumbs up are there. Thumbs up are there. But yeah, I would say we looked at this stake ranked event. They lost to NIP. They did go on to win the tournament, but they lost to 9Z as well. I feel like there's too many teams that I would now put above Heroic, and I probably would have had Heroic going through.
Yeah. I'm also very unsure on Heroic.
Just gonna mute my microphone while I spray myself.
Yeah. Well, I'm very unsure about Heroic. I know they can be a great team. I know they have it in them, but I'm wondering if it's been too of a turbulent season for them, trying to patch things up, trying to fix things as they, kind of come and go, rather than being able to improve what they have, improve what the place that they have and everything. You see, Banks is not enjoying the mosquito spray. But yeah, I'm very on the fence with Heroic. I think they are a team that can have very, very high highs, but also very low lows at the moment. They have the potential to beat some of the great teams. They can momentum their way through, can play great, but I'm wondering if that is a case where they kind of match up against their opponents. And I think if they would play as Sinners, that's a 50-50 game for me. Lynn Vision, I could see it going south. TyLoo, like there's a lot of teams that I could see Heroic losing to, but also winning against. So
they're a real 50-50. Like
they are very much a 2-2 team for me.
They're going to be on the last day fighting for their life, and it's going to be luck
but
of
the
the
weird
draw
thing
whoever
with
they
Heroic, they could easily 3-0. That's the kind of team they are. I think they are one of the hardest teams in this entire bracket to evaluate, except FlyQuest. Just because we know there's so much talent on the team, but the records they've had, they've lost so many series in the last month.
Yeah.
It
makes it hard. It makes it very hard.
It's very difficult to scope where they are at.
And we probably won't find out until the first day when the best of ones are out of the way for us to understand where they're actually going to be at.
Yeah.
All right. From Heroic into M80. Then only 4 more teams to go. So M80. Within North America, pretty damn good. Can't really knock them.
Always like
they did have a loss.
Team.
Yep. We had a good chat with Sin. Sin nearly talking to us for 2 hours. Big shout out to him for the episode. If you didn't watch it, very interesting to learn just their setup, the boot camp. The practice mainly in North America, how they're dealing with it, some of the
library simulator.
The library simulator. That was crazy. But this is a team who still can't break through to the top teams, even if sometimes they can make it competitive. And consistency is everything. And also, I think that JBA, it's about getting him to be what he's supposed to be.
For me, I think that no matter all the struggles they've had, this is a LAN team. And I think when you go to the major, every time I've seen them, they have, except the first major I saw them when they were really the worst team at the major, I think. But since then, I've seen them as LAN teams. They show good vibes. I love what I'm seeing. I want to be in their team speak. I want to listen to what's going on there. I feel, excited when I see them play, and they can match up to their opponent. I think they're easily going through. I think they're 3-1 or 3-0.
Okay. That's fair. 3-1 or 3-0. I like that. Yeah, all right. Fair enough. MIBR. This also gets exciting. Gets very exciting. This is like almost big levels of excitement.
Been sleeping and kind of weirdly awoken and started playing some great Counter-Strike under the Swedish LNZ.
Insani we need to say LNZ.
Huh?
We need to say about LNZ because I was so down on this team. I kept saying for how long? Let Insani go. Let him go to a better team. Let him out of contract hell. Because all the players around them was terrible. Letny, obviously, the coach coming out from Serbia, right? Certainly done a lot of good work. So much experience. He's got Knack working alongside him, the legendary Brazilian assistant coach at this point. They had that weird kicker thing that happened during the Budapest Major. It was a waste of time. LNZ comes in as a young in-game leader with potential. Klim, I thought Klim was very overrated. Everyone kept hyping him up to me. Everyone kept saying, Klim's so good, Klim's this. Then, obviously, I didn't even look at him anymore because he did the racist monkey joke, which was a terrible decision from him. But he's supposedly learned his lessons. The Brazilians still want to play with him. It's him, Klim and Insani, who are just carrying this team. And BRN, he's still there. He's still doing his thing, but he's a good supportive player, it seems, for him. And the fact they're able to get a top 4 at CAC and top 8 at PGL Bucharest are very positive for them ahead of the major. And it seems like they're not entering too many crazy events. They should come in with good energy. And I can imagine they've been in Europe before. MIBR should have the money to make that possible.
Yeah. I think this is one of the favorites of this entire stage.
Yeah.
Should be one of the strongest teams. I haven't watched them too much, I have to admit, but
I saw them a lot in the CAC.
Yeah, the games that I have seen, they look really, really good. And obviously Insani, with that form, if he keeps that for the major, this could be a scary team.
Bro,
you know,
in this stage of the major,
stage 3 could be a scary team.
Okay, the teams he was styling on, by the way, with 3D Max, Power Vision, Bait, still put up a good performance against Legacy. I think he was the highest rated player. He was 135. Only Dumal was ahead of him and Sadzin. And then against Maus, he was still the highest rated player, but obviously everyone did pretty badly against Maus. They got 13-3'd and 13-1'd. But he will have zero problems putting up similar, maybe not as high numbers, but good numbers against everyone else in this stage. And finally, they have a good in-game leader. Finally. So yeah, positive. MIBR stock's very high.
Yeah. They could easily be a 3-0 team. Easily.
How old is LNZ?
He's 23.
And remember, the Heroic team, because he obviously came from Young Ninjas into Sangal, then Heroic. The Heroic guys didn't want to get rid of him. Like, the player-wise, we heard about that. People wanted him to stay, so... Yeah, their loss. All right, next is BB Team. And BB Team, we got them on our news section as well, which we'll just include into this. Siren to miss start of Cologne Major. BB Team have announced that Siren will not feature in the starting lineup for at least day 1 of the IEM Cologne Major. Dilladez has been registered as BetBoom's sub for the major. So does that mean Flamas is the... bro, what team are they rocking with? Because Dilladez is on the main team, but they were worried about him not having it. So I guess Flamas is playing... Yeah, Flamas
has replaced Dilladez for the past season. But since Siren is not coming, Dilladez is taking Siren's spot.
So, no, but I read from Flamas. I'm going to tell you this. Flamas was not going to play if all team could get the major. Let me... I will tell you. You can keep talking about them.
Well, they qualified with Flammers. They did the last
but he
couple
wasn't
of
supposed to be
events with
playing.
him. Because he's still on loan, I presume, from VP, OG.
So here we go. Quote from Flammers. Flammers is still on standby. I am a substitute for the major. If someone will not get a visa, I will fly. If everyone gets a visa, I will not. I do have a visa. It just depends on the main roster. So they were going to play with Dilladez and with Siren, and it would be Flammer sitting out even if he helped them qualify.
That's crazy.
And so he's now filling in for Siren instead. That's where we're at.
Yeah, that's crazy. He obviously was a huge part of why BetBoom has had their resurgence. It's been one of the best players. I don't really know where to put BetBoom now. Obviously, they're still going to be a strong team. I'm expecting them still to make it out of this stage.
Yep.
But with Flammers, I think they are stronger. I'm wondering if they're going to remove, Flammers for Siren when
he comes back, if it's literally just one day.
It's weird.
And remember, he's played 4 events for them. Yeah? Got a third place, a first place, a second place, and a fourth place. since having Flamas, and he's performed pretty. His lowest rating was 1.08, but he's hit 120, 115. He's been solid. He's been way stronger than what he was even on the OG times.
Yep.
But for BetBoom in general, right, and for Boomich and this team, like, where did we? So last time we saw them was Austin Major, and we thought they were going to make a big splash. They went last place in stage 2. I feel like this team is definitely stronger. I have them advancing for sure, but I don't put them as a 3-0 team because of all the uncertainties. Definitely going to play a factor.
Yeah, I think they're going to make it through this stage. I think they're too strong, even if Flamus is gone, for them to just lose every single game. No, I'm sure they'll make it through. They're one of the stronger teams in this, probably. If they use their entirety of like with Flamus and Siren, I'd probably put them above Bait.
Ooh.
I'd probably put them as the second strongest. Honestly, we can move to Bait, but I actually would put Bait as like maybe the 4th strongest in this group.
Interesting. All right, let's move to Bait then, because obviously Sizzy is getting his first major. He will be 16 years old entering his first major. Still, I will keep saying it. MPL told me other players from Faceit, Stacks, and Constant seeing him said how good individually he was. It hasn't quite translated yet to Team CS. He's got the mechanics. We see glimpses of it in some of the games, but he is not a standout superstar AWP carry just yet. He's still lacking a lot of firepower. He still has a game where he pops off, but he's so young. Like, I don't blame him right now. But if they unlock him alongside MPL and Kenzazor, then Bait can fly to be like a top 12, top 10 team potentially. But as of right now, he is still the hindrance of the team.
The one thing going for him, if we just look at, let's just say, last 6 months for Sissy, looking at his opening stats, when he gets an entry success rate of 58%, and the percentage they win when he gets an entry is 76%. He has really good entry stats, and that is a big one. I think it's more about the slower rounds kind of become. Some teams, pace shifts a little bit better than in the tier 2 scene. That's probably where he struggles in positioning, of anticipating executes, what utility you need to actually do something with the AWP. But openings, he's really, really good at and sharp at. That's going to be key for Bait. But overall, I don't see Bait struggling through this stage. I see them being pretty stable. And for me, they're probably around the 3-1 team. But we'll see. They've been growing every single tournament, and I'm sure they can keep growing throughout the major.
You know what's interesting? The best stats that Sizzy has is against top 5 teams in the world. 10 maps, 1.04 rating. Everything else is 0.93, 92, 95. So that says a lot that he's performing well against like the good teams. But it's all about consistency for him. I think MPL has now found his form again, which is really good. Before, when he took away the IGL role, he was starting to play, I think, a little bit worse. Kenzazor has been stable, but he has some highs and a little bit of a drop down. So they're also a team that benefits from playing a lot. They were recently in China, they did CAC, but that also means they're now coming back to Europe without a lot of, they're resetting back into it all. But I agree with you. I don't think they will struggle here. So our last team, I definitely don't think will struggle at all in any game.
Nope.
I would probably put them 3-0. Is GamerLegion. And obviously recency bias will really kick in here, because obviously they were top 4 at Blast Rivals. Then they ended up being second place at Atlanta, losing to Navi. But they've been on a legit run. Rez is more than back, and Snacks has been leading this team really well. Really, really well.
Yeah, it's been great to see. I mean, what a resurgence from them. I am at Atlanta, second place. We really see all these stars kind of shooting well and hard again, and that Snacks have kind of organized this team, started to, we heard a lot about, they kind of looked lost there for a while, but ever since Snacks has come in, started to look sharp again. So
yeah,
I mean, they're definitely the favorites for this stage. There's no, you can't really say anything else. They should be a 3-0 team. They should be kind of cruising their way through. They probably have one of the, not the easiest matchup, but they have an easier first matchup against NRG. I think they're gonna cruise to 3-0. And I think a lot of people think the same.
and the good thing is okay. I'm still a little bit worried the fact that PR was so good, and we were hyping him up like crazy. But under Snacks, he's not been at his best. Yeah, and he might have some struggles. Hypex is definitely a real AWPer for them and doing well. But I'm how do I say this the right way? I struggle to see, other than Rez, does someone's star potential always elevate when the tougher games happen? And that's what they need to get over. Because PR is a player that everyone was talking about, everyone wanted, but he's still a little bit lackluster at times. And he said, when I was talking to him, I think it was back at Blast, it was like, I need to get used to the new way of calling from Snacks and how I'm being used. But you've now had that time. The good thing is, everyone here has played a major. They were all at Budapest. They were all getting this done before. When was the last major Snacks play? Was it G2?
Must have been.
Yeah, last one was Austin, G2. So for Snacks, it's a comeback time to show it off again. But Snacks has been very positive. And I feel like their only fumble will be when games get really tight, who can push them over the line. But like, look at some of these games. They like the Legacy one they won. It was Towson. So everyone's basically trading when they're going to have a good game. Because it can be Hypex one time, it can be Rez another time, it can be Towson. I guess it basically probably everyone but Snacks, right? Yeah, everyone but Snacks. So that kind of like it keeps them at an even level across the whole team. But I think that Little America's run in Rivals and onto Atlanta was really positive for him. So that is our breakdown of all the teams that are competing in Stage 1. Now, Devilwalk, it's time for you to do your pick'ems. Share your screen with me, load up the game. Let's see what you're cooking with. I am
starting the game right now, so
let's go.
Just give me a few seconds to get this in order. Because I also need to record.
It's always interesting to see this man do his pick'ems because he's not really a sticker person or a skins person.
I am definitely not.
He is the opposite of all of this, but we always do the All About Counter-Strike pick'ems on his one because it's good fun to see what we can make Devilwalk get, what he'll have, and what it will look like. Overall, I think Stage 1 is... I think this is more competitive than last year's Stage 1. Even though we had FaZe last time in the crazy run, I think like this is more exciting. I feel like we've got such a good run of teams in here. As I said, I think even viewership for this part will be good as well, just because it is Cologne, because it has all that hype around him.
I go here?
Yep.
Okay, let's see this.
We were just hyping up GamerLegion. Yeah.
GamerLegion 3-0. I think Thunder Down Under and Gaming Gladiators are going to be my 0-3 picks.
Okay.
For reasons that we've kind of already talked about. And let's see here. I think BetBoom probably a 3-1. I think this. I'm thinking MIBR 3-0.
Okay.
I think Big. I think Sinners. I think M80. And I think TyLoo.
Oh.
So let's just go through them. I think, BetBoom, super solid team. We've just talked about them. I think they might have some, a game loss here and there, but they're too stable as a team to not make it through. Bait.
You're not worried about the stand-in situation?
I'm not really, not at this stage.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be more worried when we get to the next stage. That's when I think that little extra level is going to drop them down a little bit further. It's going to be much, much tougher against that sort of competition. But at this stage, with this competition, I think they're still stable enough to make it through. Bait, they've been growing every tournament I've seen them. Since it's becoming more comfortable. I mean, it's reasonable to even put bait in a 3-0, but I'm putting them as a 3-1 that maybe, they have some rust and they'll bounce back. But I see them qualifying for sure. Big is also one of those that I could potentially, in my mind, put at 3-0. Think because of the advantage they are, I would not be surprised seeing them 2-0 at the end of day 2, going up against someone like MIBR or GamerLegion. Potentially winning, potentially losing, but I see them definitely qualifying around the 3-1 step. Sinners, I think this for me is one of the gambles. I probably put Sinners along with Lynn Vision, along with Heroic in that 2-2 game bracket. And I'm kind of, both hoping but could see Sinners clutching it and taking that 3-2 space, along with M80 and TyLoo. So
let's go. There we have it.
My pick'ems. I will save them here. Well, save without active pass.
You cheap motherfucker.
Oh, there you go.
You need to activate the pass, bro. Give back to the game. Give back to the money to the teams. So last thing to do then is our initial matchups predictions.
Yeah.
Yep. First game, M80 versus Lynn Vision. We've both decided on M80. Second game, Sinners versus FlyQuest. I went FlyQuest.
I went Sinners. I think
I went FlyQuest because I just thought the rookiness of Sinners will maybe cost them.
Okay.
That's why I've gone with it. Bait versus TyLoo. I want both teams to win, but I had to pick Bait over TyLoo.
This is such a 50-50 for me.
Is it really a 50-50?
Yeah, this is 100% a 50-50 for me. I think I could go either way on this one. I honestly could. Yeah. Really? I could see the best of one. I could see TyLoo doing really well to start off with. But, at the same time, it's a best of one. I think in a best of 3 series, maybe I would favor Bait more, but in the best of 1 opening matchup, I think it's a 50-50.
If TyLoo, obviously they're going to shake hands on a map as well. Okay, MIBR versus Thunder Down Under. MIBR. GamerLegion versus NRG.
GamerLegion.
Heroic versus Sharks.
This one is also a little bit interesting. Just because
could be a 50-50. Could be a 50-50.
Don't really know what Heroic you're going to get, but I've gone with Heroic. Even though I might not see them in the going through.
BB Team versus Gaming Gladiators.
We both did BB Team.
And this is because even with a stand-in, they should be Gaming Gladiators. That shouldn't be a problem. And then Big versus Liquid. We both did Big. Boom.
Yeah.
There you have it. I've gone through everything. I've done everything I put on this list. Everything makes sense right now. This was everything you need to know about stage 1 of the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne Major. It's all starting on June 2nd. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back for the next episode on the 5th of June, but we'll also be filming some interviews in the next coming days with teams in stage 2 as well, which starts on the 6th of June. There's not much time off. There's lots of Counter-Strike. There's lots of days. There's lots of recordings, but we'll be keep pushing out all the content for you guys. Devilwalk, any closing thoughts before we end out this one? I kind of always do everything and then ask you to say something.
Yeah, leave me with nothing. Thank you, Banks. No, but thank you so much for all the support, the comments, the YouTube, all of that, even on Spotify. All the listeners out there that keep supporting us, talking about Counter-Strike every week. Love you guys. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time.
It's getting better at these outros. See you next time.